welcome back to the channel right now, my friends. Good to see you. I went on a ride with a friend of mine, Dan, or Uncle Dan. We'll call him Uncle Dan. This is the whip that he went on today, the Cannondale Super 6. It's configured with a 1x E-tap SRAM. I think he said it has a 40 chain in the front, 11-40 in the back, and that's me with the Fezzo. You see my channel, you know what the Fezzo is all about, the Fezzari, now called RE bikes. So I got to get used to that. So we went out to Ballard. We took a ride around the water. Beautiful scenery, beautiful day, summer in the Pacific Northwest. What more could you ask for? Now, let me tell you the relationship a little bit about Dan. Now, Dan is my partner's uncle through marriage. My partner, her mom, and his wife's mom are sisters, and so we call him Uncle Dan. Uncle Dan is a local legend in terms of his grandparents grew up in this area, so his family roots in the Seattle area go deep. His grandpa was a fisherman on these Ballard docks, so he will often kind of have a lot of landmarks throughout his life that he can talk about and give you kind of a tour guide of this area, kind of deeper, intimate knowledge, which is always fun. He loves family history, and he loves researching like family members. He's that kind of guy who can connect family members who don't know each other. You could have a cousin down the street and not know him, and Dan will, if you're part of his family, he'll connect people, and he's really into that, which is cool. So Dan, Uncle Dan, he has looked after our son before he had daycare. Him and his wife, we've taken him over to the auntie's house, and he's kicked it. So super nice guy, super chill, super straightforward. He was just like, hey man, you want to go for a ride anytime? And I was like, all right dude, let's go for it. So we were trying to go back and forth for a few weeks, texting each other, and we found a time to go riding. Which is, it's cool because Dan we're both on gravel configured bikes. He's getting his bike maintenance. He has a Breezer road bike, and so he's riding his son Nick's bike. This is kind of a cyclocross style setup with slick tires with 30s. Dan's an old school guy, so he's gonna ride those. He likes his skinny tires with the high pressures. When I told him my tires were at 30 psi, he was like, what? I told him, yeah man, I'm riding on 45s. I'm riding on the Schwalbe. Correct me with the pronunciation. The Schwalbe's all road. So I'm rolling on those, and yeah, it's super fun. Dan, 63, bro. This guy is a strong rider. Like, I'm keeping up. It looks like I'm keeping up, but I'm going way hard. I'm putting down power right now, and he's just like chilling, dude. Like, look, see how he passes me, dude. Dan goes hard. It's crazy to me too, because I ride the vast majority of my stuff alone, and if I go with people, it's usually super leisurely. So Dan is the hardest person I've ridden with in probably a year, in terms of like, I could go full out for the whole time with him, which is it's fun. You know, that part of it is really fun. As far as, we got 2 gravel bikes and we're riding road. He's a roadie, and so he really likes his 2x. He prefers it. He has a big, I think he said he had a 60 on the front of his Breezer. I was like, for real, dude? He's like, yeah, man. Because what he does, he rides on the Burke-Gilman Trail, and that's super flat. And if you've got the road configuration with a small cassette on your back, you can burn down that trail. It doesn't have a lot of incline or ascents or descents. It's mostly flat. And so I feel like and I feel like the Burke-Gilman Trail, it goes for a decent amount of distance, maybe over 30 miles. So you could just run that and really gain your stamina on that. And he has a lot of stamina. Jeez, man, like this guy, it's funny too when you ride on your own and you're passing people here and there, and you don't really know where you're at as a rider until sometimes you can ride with other people and see like, okay, you know, what it's told me is I've definitely been able to build up a lot of stamina, because I would not be able to keep up with Dan a year ago, like straight up. You know, he is just a fine rider, and it was really fun. So it's interesting riding gravel on roads. Now that's the part I wanted to touch on a little bit. Is that, it's like if I had to ride like this with Dan on a regular basis, I would probably get a road bike, a more road configured, because he's a roadie. He loves riding on the road. If you're going down the Burt Gilman on my configuration, it's fine. I can go pretty fast. I've hit 22 on the flats. But with these tires and the carbon wheels that I have. But some of the climbs are a little bit challenging with this. It's not challenging. It's just the bike is not super duper light, because again, if you know anything about me, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I like rugged bikes more than I like fast bikes. I like bikes where the descents are chiller, and I don't mind climbing, so I don't mind a little bit of extra weight. I mean, this bike is a really nice climber, don't get it twisted, but it's not the same as a road bike. It's not the same as a super light spec for that specifically road bike. So if I was going to ride with someone like Dan regularly, if he is a regular riding buddy and I went like more than a couple times a week with him, or a time a week, or I did that type of riding, I would get a road bike, just to tell you the truth. But for me, as an individual, I don't love in particularly road riding. It's fine, but I definitely like finding dirt, and I like finding off-road. And I realized that on this ride, I'm like, just riding on the road without going through any dirt paths, or going through a wood little lane, or going down the alley, or going on some gravel, it's not my favorite type of riding. But it's great for building stamina for your adventure riding, right? If you're trying to put in long days of effort, using this type of riding to build your stamina is a super good idea. And quite frankly, it's really fun to ride with someone else, because you can draft off each other, you can drift off each other, and then you're talking, and the banter. So the emotional side of it takes away a lot of the pain of riding. It just feels really chill. And so after this ride, I think we went about 22 miles, because we got I don't always have tons of time to ride, because we got family responsibilities. I've got responsibilities with my business, and so it can be difficult to find the time like this, as much time as we were able to ride together. But it was really awesome. It's when you get to kind of just spend a good amount of your day outside and on your saddle, or just outside, whatever outside activity you like, right? Like that's that, component of being a kid again, where, I grew up in the 80s. Your parents were pretty much like, get out of the house. So that bike and your ability to just get out all day and stay out all day. And, I lived in SoCal, so the weather was usually always like this. In Seattle, it's special to have weather like this. It's summertime weather. But out in SoCal, it was just all year round. So I realized how much of my early life, it's funny when you're a city kid, right? I think there's a stereotype of an outdoorsy person. You think of the woods. But I mean, us city kids who live in like warm climates, we're kind of all outdoor kids. Our outdoor jungle, forest is like the urban jungle, is the urban environment. But it took me a while to realize it's like, yeah, I am an outdoorsy person. It's just not in that stereotypical way that of, I like camping or this and that. I mean, camping it's okay. It's not my favorite, but when I think of outdoorsy, you think of those kinds of things of like, fishing and camping and rugged woody type stuff. But a lot of us kids who grew up in the city, we didn't have access, like super fast access to that stuff. So a lot of the times it's like you're just trapped in your little city, and the bike is kind of your way to just stay out all day and be an outdoor person, go to the basketball court. It's kind of like that city boy outdoors, which is kind of what I am. I like being outside all day, but I am a city boy. So I kind of reconcile with that. Anyway, I just ranted about having this ride with Dan. Thanks a lot for coming with me, Dan. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. I just don't feel it. Like on my older, well, you know, older, like I'd go 25, I felt it. I was like, okay.
I don't know the gears where I
Yeah.
This other guy rides with the guy, I was riding with him. He has a straw and he goes, I know the record right here.
For this little segment.
Well, segment. I gotta fall into the segment. And the reason why is because it starts off going downhill and it's a big guy.
Exactly. Yeah. When I started riding, I was like 250. So going downhill was was the winner. I mean, I'm still pretty fast downhill. Yeah, these wide tires, they just make it so fast down it. You win on descending. But I don't know about ascents, but it's like sitting on a mountain bike. Here we are at 912. It's my green car right here. Come say hello to the fam. Just shove it wherever.
Okay.
Then we can open up the garage to let you out. Yeah. I brought someone with us to say hello really quickly, Dan.
That's a good dog. That's a good dog.
Get some. Hi.
How you doing, little man?
Say hi.
Remember me?
Disaster.
Hi.
It'll be all right.
Hi. How are you?
Ranger, please, Ranger, stop.
Oh, you remember it, Dan? Ranger, it's a lot. It's a
You want
lot.
to show that to me?
Oh, he's got a little baby.
What's a baby?
Yeah, I took him out for a walk earlier. I got stung by a bee.
The baby
I'm
for a
really
stroller
trying.
walk? You remember that song?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
All right.
Ranger, stop.
I know I can't get too close to the meat again. Oh, yeah. Got a refill. He was pushing me too hard.
You're right.
Thank you. You need water?
Wow.
I'll give you a hug.
Food tastes good. He's been eating more, so that's cool, but he definitely loves the reaction it gets out of us when we're like, Dory, can't eat that. He has a little mischievous look on his face. Either way. Yeah, I can go on the road.
You got a tailwind, so let me just pass it.
Spent a lot of time here when I first moved to Seattle.
Is that right?
Yeah, we knew the owner of this shop.
The Cuban sandwich stuff, right?
Yeah, it used to be called Paseos, and now it's Ambien. And so yeah, Surf Ballard, our buddy owned that. So we'd have shows here and kick in. Our friend, he'd rent paddle boards. So yeah, I was like, oh, I just love this area. Mm-hmm. Nice. We're gonna go up this hill? Okay. Cool, yeah, I'll let her know. Because I think she'd like that. You'll put little Dory on it too. Give him a little lights, Jack. Oh, there's no, okay.
I found a picture of Aaron, Kathy, and Katie taking Brian out in a canoe.
Uh-huh.
He's about 3 years old, maybe 2 years old. He's in the back of the canoe, not in the front where you see him. He's in the back.
Okay. Yeah, we come out, we take our little guy to Golden Gardens too. He's trying to eat all the sand right now, so it makes it challenging.